What's going on, you guys? My name is Russell and you're watching The Bible Man. If you're new to this channel and like the content I make here, please hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and turn on all notifications for any future updates here on my channel. And if you feel like supporting me in any way, shape, or form, you're welcome to go ahead and do so. Links are in the description box below. There you can support me on Patreon. So, today I'm going to go over my life story, how I grew up, my upbringing, and how it basically shaped the person I am today. And how I basically am the person I am today. So I'm going to go over a little bit about myself. My name is Russell Graves. I was born on September 12th, 1994 in Memphis, Tennessee. Around 1998, me, my stepdad, my older sister, and my younger brother moved from Memphis, Tennessee to Orlando, Florida. I remember us driving and my stepdad using a map because GPSs existed, but they were mighty expensive. So we moved at the time to Orlando, Florida. Now I'm going to skip over the trivial stuff that doesn't really matter because my memory is joggy because that was such a long time ago. Going into 1999, I was starting elementary school at Bonneville Elementary School in Orlando, Florida. And my first year in the Bonneville Elementary School, I remember being called into the principal's office. And as I was being called to the principal's office, I had this sense that the school was trying to push something. I didn't have this sense back then, but I have this sense right now that the school was trying to push something. And a week later, I visited the psychiatrist. And after that, my entire life went downhill because I started to get put on medication. In the year 2000, I was sent to a Baker Act facility called Lakeside. I was there for about a week, and in 2000 of May, I was sent to Universal Behavior Center. I was there for about a year, and I was discharged in 2001. I was with my family at my mom's house for about a good second, but we had DCF people in and out the house, like they were in charge of putting me with a one-to-one. Basically what that means is basically no matter where I go, no matter what time of the day, I had basically a staff or a person in charge of watching over me, making sure I'm behaving. Of course, that's only during the weekday. During weekends, it's up to my mom to do whatever she can to do her job and parent me. I remember on my 12th birthday in 2003, it could be my 10th birthday actually. Well, anyways, in 2003, I was sent to another Baker Act facility. This time was a little bit farther away from my mom's house. It was in Jupiter Beach. It was called Sandy Pines. I was there from 2003 to 2005. We went through a couple of hurricanes. We went through Hurricane Wilma, Hurricane Francis, Hurricane Jean, Tropical Storm Katrina. At the time, it was tropical storm. When it went to Louisiana, it was a hurricane. But when we got hit in Jupiter Beach, it was a tropical storm. Not much to say about what went on at these facilities, but there was a similarity between Universal Behavior Center and Sandy Pines. The reason why, they were owned by the same company called Devereaux, and Sandy Pines and Universal Behavior Center, they're basically like brother sister campuses, and they run on this point system that works like this, from blue all the way to gold. I won't say the colors in between because I forgot such a long time ago. But if you have no physical aggressions, no verbal aggressions, no cursing, no violence, you behave, and your behavior is good, you're discharged, and you get to go back with the family. But what they don't tell you is they put you into an environment that forces you to fight. In other words, put it like this. You're sitting down at the table, you're a kid, and kids react a certain way, and you're sitting there reading a book. A kid walks up to you, slaps the book out your hand, and pushes you out the chair. You fight back, you start right back to where you were when you first came to the facility, therefore prolonging the time you're going to spend there, which means you're going to stay there even longer. Let's look at another scenario. Let's say you're trying to take a nap, and you tell the staff you're about to take a nap, but then shift change happens, and you decide to take a nap because you weren't thinking about shift change. The staff tells you you gotta come out to the floor, and the staff says you gotta come out to the floor. You say, well, I'm taking a nap. Well, they won't have it. They'll escort you out to the floor. Then if you even say no, they'll drop your level. Well, what about other stuff? You can basically stay in these Baker Act facilities for the dumbest reasons. You can stay in these Baker Act facilities just for waking up early. If you decide to wake up at 4 a.m., leave your room, you stay there longer. These Baker Act facilities don't help anybody. That's just my point of view. They put you in an environment that forces you to fight with other kids. They put you in an environment that that people jump you and hit you and fight you for no reason other than just to do it. I know because I've been there, done that. And if you fight back or curse them out or say what's wrong with you, why are you doing that, you stay there longer. And that was basically a pattern throughout every group home, every foster home, every lockdown facility my entire life. That's how it always worked. So my next home after Sandy Pines was, let's see, what was my next home after Sandy Pines? Oh yeah, I went back with my mom. That's what happened. I went back with my mom for a couple of months. Then I got Baker Acted yet again to Universal Behavior Center, and I was there for about a year. Probably a year or two. I remember having a visit with a caseworker, the psychiatrist, the doctor, and the nurse, and my mom in 2007. And in 2007, I'd visit 3 homes. I visit a foster home, a group home, before I visit the actual home I was going to stay in for, I want to say, a couple of months. The foster home, I was just there for a day. Then I went to a group home, I was there for about 5 days. And then I went to another group home, which was located in Cocoa Beach. I was there for probably a good second. I want to say a good 9 months. In the 9 months I was at that Cocoa Beach group home, a lot of stuff happened. Man, where do I start? Well, let's start with the positive before we get into the negative. Every Thursday we would have Bible studies in the family living room with a staff there who's also a police officer, and we would talk about the Word of God. Sundays, it's optional, but sometimes I go, sometimes I didn't. We went to church. Now, I don't remember a lot about going to church because if the group home, one person has a behavior in the group home, it affects everybody. So if one person has a behavior, nobody goes out. That includes church. There was this one occasion where I was upstairs in the group home, where I was playing Yu-Gi-Oh cards and Dragon Ball Z cards and making prank calls with these 3 kids named Mike Weasley, Brian, and Ishmael. And I went to bed early. And what happens next, the very next morning, the manager comes banging on my door. Russell, wake up. And I'm like, huh? Why are you banging on the door, number 1? Number 2, who wakes me up in such a negative tone of voice? And she says, were you involved last night with Ishmael, Mike Weasley, and Brian? And I'm like, involved with what? You know what I'm talking about. Don't play stupid. And I'm like scratching my eyes because I'm like sound asleep because I was on these psychotropic medications. Still on them, by the way. And I had no idea what she was talking about. I was knocked out. And then she says, get dressed. We're going to the doctor's office to get blood work. Went to the doctor's office, got blood work. She explains what happened. And she says that they hijacked a gasoline truck, ran away in the middle of the night and hijacked a gasoline truck and crashed it into the side of the road. And I told the manager like this, look, I had no idea they were planning that. Last night, I'll be honest with you, I was making prank calls. We called Domino's and Papa John's. We sent a 44 pickup to the Cocoa Beach Hospital. That's it. Beyond that, I went to sleep. I was knocked out. I didn't even know they left the room. That's how heavy I was sleeping. I had no involvement in that. And the manager was like, you sure? I'm positive. Well, I'm glad to hear that, because right now they're in jail. And I'm like, oh no. I'm glad I went to bed early. Man, there is this other occasion where I was with a group of kids before that incident where we were playing Xbox, and I like playing Grand Theft Auto on the Xbox with Brian and Ishmael and Mike Weasley because they're a bad influence on me. And there is this tall, cocky kid who comes in about to fight one of them, and I jump into the fight because he was about to break the Xbox, and I decided to fight. But then my sister, which by the way was living in the same home as me, I won't say her name because she's been through a lot as well. Me and my older sister were in the same situation in life. She comes in and tackles me to the ground and beats the hell out of me. To this day, I still don't know the reason why. If she wanted to teach me something, she'll let me get my ass handed to by this dude. And that probably would have prevented a lot of situations in my life where I wasn't as dumb of jumping into fights without thinking. Looking back on it, I kind of wish she'd let me get my butt handed to me instead of beating my butt herself, because that probably would have taught me a lot of life lessons. Nope. She didn't do that. She beat me herself. Oh well. But it was a looking back on it now, it's a funny experience. Yeah, that happened. I was there for about 9 months, and I got kicked out. No, I don't necessarily believe I got kicked out. I remember being transported to another home. I was sent to a foster home. In this foster home, I probably would get along with the foster mom now. Now that I'm more in a mature state of mind, now that my maturity is higher, I'm a lot wiser of my decisions and actions. But at that time, I couldn't handle this foster mom. I couldn't handle something as small as that. I had an authority problem. And all the foster mom wanted me to do was clean up my room, do the dishes, do my laundry, sweep and mop, and that was it. No, I was a little kid being a stupid kid, and I wanted to watch cartoons all day. One thing led to another, and I punched a hole in the window, led to me getting a scar on my arm forever, which, by the way, I still have from punching that window. See if I can show you. It's not as visible as it was years ago, but I'm going to try to show you to the best of my ability. Can you see it? Let me know in the comment section below if you can see it. All of that had shards of glass in it. And I don't know why, but in Orlando, Florida, I had my eye bust open, my chin bust open, glass piercing out my arm. I never once was in a situation where I had to go to the hospital. All the group homes will stitch you up right then and there. But I'll get into that later. So I was at this foster home, and I got punched a hole in the window, and then I went back to Lakeside because this foster home was in Orlando, Florida. So I think going to Lakeside, this was probably my second time going to Lakeside. Fun times. Fun times. So leaving Lakeside, I went to another foster home. The lady who owned this foster home, well, her name was Judy Scene. They were her husband, her son. They were really nice people. They were really nice people. You know the saying, you don't know what you got until it's gone? Yeah, well, I made that mistake multiple times in my life. Judy Scene was the type of person who took me to church every Sunday. Sometimes she'll take me out to the park, take me to the junk flea market, let me pick out stuff I want to buy that catches my eye. She'll give me allowances. She'll take me to Sam's Club and BJ's, let me get my snacks. She'll put me on respite with foster homes to experience new things and people my age. But I did not have the maturity, I did not have the wisdom, and I did not have the mindset to know what I had at the time. So I messed up. My behaviors, my anger, my frustration got the better of me. I got into way too many fights, way too many problems, and I got kicked out. She was a really nice lady, and I feel real guilty today. And then they put me in a home, another foster home after this. And to this day, now that I'm wiser and smarter with my actions, I look back at my situation in life, and I look back at my moments in this particular foster home, and I think of how good I had it, how awesome I had things. And I realized how much I messed up. This foster home was responsible for maturing me, but not as much as the group home after this foster home, which I get into later. The name of this foster home is called Judy. It's a foster home, so it's not called anything, but the lady who owned it was Judy Quinn West. Her family was awesome, and I missed them. To this day, I miss them. They're awesome people. I messed up on so many different occasions, and I think she's the biggest mistake I made. Not the number one biggest mistake I made. In my next video, I'll tell you the biggest mistake I made when it comes to somebody My next video, I'll explain that. Judy Quinn West. Man, I had it good with her. We used to go to theme parks. We used to go out to eat. We used to go to restaurants. I went to a public school, not a behavior school. I used to go to Universal, Islands of Adventure, SeaWorld. Sometimes most of the time we went to Universal and Islands of Adventure. We went to restaurants after and before. She would take me clothes shopping and let me enjoy myself. She would give me freedom and opportunity to go out the house and do my own thing. But somewhere along the way, I couldn't handle it. I made a lot of mistakes. I messed up. I didn't know what I had. I was unwise. I was getting into a lot of problems, getting into a lot of fights. My behavior was out of control. And I got kicked out. I was Baker acted to the Volusia County Baker Act facility. And the next group home I went to led to a lot of issues, but also matured me a lot. And I'll talk about that part of my life in my next video. Because in my next video, I'm going to try to cover a lot more stuff. So my name is Russell, and you're watching The Bible Man. Y'all have a great day, and hope you guys stay around for part 2 and 3.